Thank you for that introduction. And hey, everyone, a great start to our day here. As mentioned, I'm Marlon and I'm here with Varun, and we're here to talk to you about future skills and what it means for career mobility. The first question I'm going to start with for Varun is, Varun, let's take a step back to where before you were partnering with Udemy Business and some of the challenges you were facing to keep your employees ahead of the technology curve.
Sure. First of all, Marlon, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I would like to thank the EconomicTimes team for organizing such a fantastic event and giving me an opportunity to come and speak over here. I'll briefly talk about my organization. I work with Synechron Technologies. It's a 20-year young fintech organization. We've got more than 10,000 employees spread across the globe, having solid presence in the US, Europe, Middle East, India, and Asia Pacific regions. I'll take you back to early 2000s till 2015. The technology spectrum at that point of time was pretty stagnant, and most of the training interventions that we were doing were predominantly classroom trainings. Synechron has been very sincere about building our employees' career skills, and we did a lot of classroom training interventions during this period to ensure that our employees have the quality and the knowledge to deliver best solutions to our clients. We did try to explore e-learning sometime in 2012 and 13, but the content at that point of time was not up to the mark. We tried to build our own content, but it's a difficult task to build the content and let alone keep on updating it. So we went back and continued with the best practice of classroom training that we had. Now, let me bring your attention to the year 2015 and 16. This was a very critical time for the entire IT industry because the digital tech disruption happened at that point of time. If not in matter of days, but in months, most of the workforce got obsolete because the tech adoption happened at a rampant pace. So as a learning and development team, we rolled up our sleeve and we did a lot of reskilling and upskilling interventions to ensure our employees get the new skills and deliver value to the clients. What happened is, while doing this process, we felt that classroom training does have its limitations, and we should be looking for new partners or new avenues to ensure that our employees get the skilling. So we try to explore e-learning content providers, and we zeroed down on Udemy, predominantly because of the marketplace concept, which I fondly like to call as collective intelligence. So the partnership with Udemy gave us two important things. It gave us flexibility for the employees to learn whatever they want, whenever they want. And it gave us scalability because since, as I mentioned, our employees are spread across the globe, it's difficult to reach out to the employees with the classroom training interventions. With Udemy, we could actually drive a lot of structured learning interventions for these employees as well. So Udemy has been a best thing that has happened for us in the last 3 to 4 years.
That's great. Great to hear. And I love the term collective intelligence. It's a great way to describe the marketplace that Udemy has. So thinking about, that part of it. So when you now look at, what best practice, when you think about best practice, what have you deployed to continue to bridge evolving technology skills gaps and then obviously prepare talent to continue to grow as well?
Right. It's a very important question. So as I mentioned, we had a solid foundation of classroom training. We had an excellent partner with Udemy for our e-learning programs. We sat back and looked at what the business expects out of the learning function and what the employees expect from the learning function. On the business side, business always expects highly skilled resources who are continuously upskilled over a period of time with minimum time out of the project and in a cost-effective way. And what does the employee want? They want high quality content. They want good trainers and instructors. They want flexibility to learn whatever they want, whenever they want. And they want a structured guidance in their learning. So what we did is we decided to adopt blended learning. We all have heard about this term. We all have been speaking about it. It was time that we thought that we should put theory into practice. So it's simple. What we did is we broke our classroom trainings into 3 parts. There was pre-classroom training, classroom training, and post-classroom training. For pre-classroom training, we identified few courses which were basic, which gave an introduction to the subject that was taught in the classroom and gave a good amount of conceptual understanding. So let's say a Python training is a 5-day training program. We loaded 2 days on Udemy as a prerequisite. Employees could learn that prerequisite courses at any given point of time based on their convenience. They did not have to step out of the project to do that. Once that was done, they came to the classroom for just 3 days. In these 3 days, probably the trainer did a 1 hour introduction to brush up the concepts to get everyone on the same level, and then directly get on to the hands-on part of the concept. So you could do your self exercises, you could do hands-on labs, you could do projects, mini projects, and get a real-time experience out of those training. So our classroom training, though they were shorter, it became more meaningful and purposeful. Once you have completed the classroom training, employees were supplemented with some advanced courses that were available on Udemy for post-learning. In fact, we ensured that we selected most of the certification-oriented programs on Udemy. They are phenomenal. I have personally seen that after going through this entire process, we have had a lot of employees actually going for official certifications and clearing it. And we do have a fantastic certification policy to supplement and help employees get the certifications as well. So this blended learning model has worked out phenomenally for us. And it's almost more than 2 years in running, and we've seen fantastic business results out of it.
Running for 2 years, that's fantastic. Obviously, you're able to now begin to put metrics around that and understand the benefit you're already getting beyond just, reducing the time in the classroom. Fantastic. Right. So as an organization, I know Synechron pride yourselves on being an agile organization.
Yeah.
When you think about that from a learning perspective, how have you been able to develop an agile learning ecosystem that provides employees sort of access to learning paths, but also aligns to their personal growth, their aspirations, and also obviously retention of employees?
When we say agility at Synechron, we just don't say that we are an agile organization. We believe it. It's deeply rooted in our culture. It's one of the most important core values for us. So coming to the learning paths part, the fun fact is when we got into partnership with Udemy, this feature was not available on Udemy. We went back to the team and said that we want something like a playlist which we can preload with some courses so that our employees can get into structured learning. I would like to thank the Udemy team because you heard us, and within a matter of weeks, the learning path utility was already there. Now, as I've mentioned, we've got resources spread across the globe. We want employees to invest time in learning because we've given them opportunities to learn. But when you log into Udemy for Business, there is a plethora of courses that are available, topics to choose from. And at times people get confused as to what course they should start and what should they learn. So what we did is we created teams of our SMEs for each and every technology or conceptual topic that we were targeting at. And with the help of this SMEs, we've built structured, customized learning paths for Synechron. So almost all the roles that employees perform at Synechron, we have learning paths defined for them. This learning path are structured in such a way that you get a conceptual or basic level understanding, you understand the advanced concepts, you get the certification flow. But beyond that, we've tried to integrate other aspects of your work into those learning paths and make it an holistic experience. So if my employee is working at a remote client location, he still has the power to undergo structured learning at per his convenience, whenever he wants, however he wants, and it's been delivering value to us. So agility is an important factor for us, and I think so learning paths has helped us big time to get agility into our learning framework.
That's great, Varun. Thank you for that. So if we shift the conversation a little bit now and think about sort of why we're here and here to sort of talk about, future skills. When you think about future skills, what do you see or what do you believe, the top 3 future skills that the workforce are going to need in, 2025, and how is Synechron preparing for it?
Right. So this question is the essence of a conversation. It's the essence of this conference. In fact, it's a question that every IT engineer should be asking himself or herself. It's a very emotional topic, and I'll try to answer your question objectively as well as subjectively. To start off with, I feel that the entire roles would be consolidated into three certain aspects. We will have application engineers, we will have data engineers, and we'll have quality engineers. Now, these three domains itself are a universe in itself. So it's a big gamut. We've heard about cutting edge technologies like AI, ML, data science, and cloud computing. To be frank enough, cloud computing is already a way of life. Data science has evolved and matured in such a way that it's giving fantastic business intelligence to the businesses and the organizations. AI ML is making quantum leaps each and every day. In fact, Synechron has multiple AI accelerators that are already benefiting our clients. So we will have specialist roles for the cutting edge technologies, and that's not going to end. But majority of our IT workforce would be broadbanded into the three categories, that is application engineers, data engineers, and quality engineers. Now, let me answer this question more subjectively, because I've given it a lot of thought and we've actually built a strategy around it. So I'll explain it to you. Everyone has heard by now the terminology called as full stack engineer, right? So what is a full stack engineer? For example, a Java full stack. A Java full stack is a resource who knows basics of core Java till advanced concepts of microservices. These employees are highly sought after in the market. Organizations are trying to build full stack engineers in-house, but the definition of full stack itself is evolving. It's not a constant. So our requirements initially went from just full stack to full stack with UI, with cloud computing and other factors. So it's kept on evolving. So I would like to step back and speak in terms of an employee, what an employee should do, what an IT engineer should do. First and foremost is you should do an honest introspection about your skill set. Okay, list down whatever skills you have and rate it as beginner, intermediate, and proficient. If you've done that sincerely, you will know where you stand right now. The second step would be look around, try to talk to people what they are trying to learn, look for the job openings that your organization is hiring for, look for the skill sets that are now required by multiple projects. If you are aware of it, you can definitely devise a plan to upskill yourself and start building on it. I'll give you an example. Let's say we start with basic technologies like Java, .NET, and QA. That's the base. The next question you should ask yourself, are you aware of the domain that you're working on? If not, do a deep dive into it. Try to learn the domain, because you will add more meaning when you deliver your IT solutions to your client. Once you've done that, are you aware of the UI concept? Are you aware of Angular or React? No, get yourself trained on it. Are you cloud certified? If not, make it as an objective for your next quarter. If you're cloud certified, are you Agile certified? Are you aware of the project management concepts? Try to build on it. Maybe that comes as next quarter's agenda. Once you are done with that, explore data engineering, learn Hadoop, learn Python, learn new scripting languages that are there. DevOps concept is going to be something that is going to drive project delivery in the coming future, and it's already started. So learn DevOps concepts. Once you've done that, I think so you will have a huge broadband in your skill set. The important part that we miss out is personality development, your communication skills, leadership skills, behavioral skills. It's a continuous process. So set out some time every month to build on these softer skills. Now, it's easy for me to state that you need to be broadband and you need to learn all these concepts. It's really difficult to do it in a short span of time. You cannot do it in days or months together. You'll have to have a learning strategy and systematically build your profile. Once you've done that, what are the benefits? First of all, your profile becomes 100% fungible. Your movement from project A to B to C becomes really smooth, and you become an invaluable asset to the organization. Growth, your financial growth is given. It will happen. But more than that, you will have a more meaningful career and a sustainable career over a period of time. So I have had interaction with employees saying that, yes, Synechron is investing a lot. We've got these opportunities. We cannot invest time because we are always stuck up in projects. stop giving reasons, because if you start giving reasons, you won't do it. The most important thing is to take the first step. If you take the first step towards learning, things will follow. And if you give yourself a time frame saying that in the next year or in 1 year or 2 years, I'll have this skill set as my core expertise, definitely your career will rocket to the newest heights possible. For learning and development teams, I think so we should now be beyond coaching, mentoring, and training employees. We should think from being career architects. We should call ourselves as career architects, and we should ensure that we contribute systematically in a structured way to build employees' career. If we do that, I think so. If an employee does that, their career would be long sustained and it would be a meaningful career for the next year also.
Thanks, Varun. I think there's a lot there. Obviously, you've shared the roadmap, essentially, right? And in terms of the individual, it sounds like a full stack specialist also needs to consider themselves a full stack generalist.
Right.
And I think if you can become if you follow that roadmap to become a full stack specialist, and then you become that generalist, you're able to, align yourself to the strategy of the organization you're coming to. You become, seamless from project to project, and you become a true asset to your organization. It's going to value you for your proactivity to do it.
Right.
And then for teams, I love the term, being career architects and actually thinking about contribution. What can you give? How can you do it? And it sounds like we can all do it, again, from a retention perspective, an employer of choice perspective, and then really considering that from a future skills perspective as well. So
I would like to add one more point over here. So if employees or students are listening to it, or if you have any relative who is listening to it, and if they're not working in a firm or an organization that gives learning opportunities for whatever reasons it may be, it's very simple. Go to Udemy Marketplace. There are a lot of courses there which are very cost effective and high quality content. Once you build your learning path, you just have to pick the courses and keep on skilling yourself. It's as simple as that. Not a lot of investment, but an investment in time is what is required.
Utilize that collective intelligence.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Varun. And thanks everyone for joining us. Hope everyone has a great conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.